Right, what's going on? We've had some rain. We've had rain Friday, a little bit. We had rain Saturday for an hour or so, good sort of downpour. It's now Sunday, due to rain again. And in fact we're due for rain up till every day up to about Wednesday or Thursday. So the question is, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you what's going on. I've booked this week off on holiday, so that's why we got rain every day. So you can thank me for that. I'll take it on the chin. Also, I double jinxed it just due to I set up a new irrigation system, so I'm not going to be needing that for a few days, or probably this week. But I'm not complaining. We need that rain. Right, so it's still a muggy, slightly breezy, but nice breeze day. What we're going to do is look at, so if you cast your minds back to early April maybe, you know, just after winter, start to see some damage on a couple of palms. So we're going to look at the Brahea Super Silver. So this palm actually spear pulled, so we lost the centre spear and two fronds. Very small palm, so first year planted out in the garden, not overly surprised that it took some damage. It's only really started to grow back. So what did I do? I did do a video on it at the time. So what I actually done is I gave it a course of hydrogen peroxide. So what I mean by that is I pulled any dead foliage out, so basically it spear pulled, and a couple of fronds died, which I cut off. We kept the three fronds which are, you know, fairly green, so I was hopeful it's going to come back. So here we are, nearly 3 months later. And I don't know if you can see that. We've got three little tiny leaves. They look like individual leaves. Well, one is just a petiole from a leaf. The leaf is actually rotted off. The second one might be the same. The third one looks like it might be a leaf. So when a palm like this, or most palms, when they take damage, a spear pull specifically, the first frond that comes out and opens will be considerably smaller than the previous, and you might get a couple like that before they come back into sort of normal growth, as it were. But yeah, so I was hopeful, I was fairly confident this would survive, and it has survived. It's been late, it's sort of come back quite late, but it's alive. And my concern is now that coming back so late, that's not going to put on a huge amount of growth before the winter comes round again. But I'll just have to make sure I protect this a bit better than I did last year, which literally just had a sort of clear cover over it. So just cross the fingers for a mild winter and slightly better protection. So that was a palm which took damage, which I was pretty confident would come back, which has. The one that didn't come back, the one that we did lose totally, was the knee cow palm, or Polystyrus sapida, which was planted in this area. That survived one winter. Surprisingly, it was a cold, wet winter, down to -7, which it survived. Did take damage. Last winter we only got down to -4 and considerably drier, but again, because it's already weakened from the previous winter, that just gave up and died. So I've tried that particular palm, the Nico palm, twice now, so I'm not going to be trying it again. I have got one in a pot, and it's just so easy to overwinter that I don't even I wouldn't even consider putting that in the ground, not till maybe it gets a lot bigger. But yeah, so I have replaced that palm with this palm, and it's not a huge palm by any means, but let's get the tags. I can't actually remember offhand what we're talking about. So it is an Oranga. Don't know if we can see that. I'll let you read that because I'm rubbish at pronouncing, but this is supposed to be one of the hardier Orangas, so we're going to give that a go. So this is one that I've grown for a couple of years from quite a small seedling. We've got frond there, frond here, and the biggest frond there, and a little spear coming as well. So again, might be pushing my luck a bit with this one, but we're going to give it a go nonetheless. So that is a replacement for a dead palm that died over winter, just to keep you all updated. So we've got the Oranga in there now. I've got another Oranga, different type, angler eye, which has survived 2 winters with literally no damage, so they are quite tough palms. Again, I don't think I mentioned it, but what I will do is cover it now. I did have another palm in here. It didn't die. That was the Raphus excelsia. It did survive the winter. It had 4 growing points, so it is the lady palm, common name for Raphus excelsia. It did survive. It didn't totally die on me, but what it did do, a couple of them did spear pull, and it did take damage. So I thought I might be pushing my luck a bit too much with that one, and it was still a fairly small palm, so that was in this area here. So I did dig that out and pot it up, so I will be having that as a potted specimen rather than, I won't say waste my time growing it in a garden, but there's no point if you're going to get a damage every year, and they're so slow to grow back that will never look good. So I'll admit defeat on that one, if you like. So what I did do is obviously replace that with a Trachycarpus, standard Trachycarpus fortunei, standard B&M 150 quid job. Yeah, so because also I took out the plum tree I had here because that weren't producing plums, and that was getting a bit messy looking, so I took that out as well, which gave me the opportunity to plant a bigger palm there. So that is what's going on with that one. So what else is going on sort of palm wise? I mean, I don't really need to say. Winter damage wise, most of the standard palms, obviously all the Trachycarpus were fine. All the Butiagrus absolutely fine, all grown away nicely. So we've got the Butiagrus there, which is really noticed it's put on some size now. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's still a small plant, but from, bearing in mind I had this for 6-7 years from a little strap leaf seedling, and yeah, that is starting to put on some size. It's opened up a frond, now opened up a second, and it's got a big spear third. All the other standard Butiodoratas are absolutely fine. They took no winter damage. So the Butiagrus aerospather, this is the one that was planted out last year, so it was planted over winter. Again, they did sort of take some leaf damage on the tips, which I just sort of, any brown bits I sort of cut down a bit, but I mean in general, a little bit of spotting on the leaves, a little bit of leaf damage. This is obviously its very first winter, or that was its very first winter, and I think that's sort of standard for the first couple of years, just to get them acclimatised. But what I will say is the fronds that are opening up. So we've got, it's actually opened up one new frond here, which is looking absolutely fine, but the second one, which is obviously sort of still at the sort of crown level, maybe we can see a little bit of damage there on the leaves. So that had been a bit of cold damage over the winter, but we've actually got a third spear there, which has got, looking like it might be okay. Just a little tip of brown on the very tip of the spear. While we're talking about winter damage, so obviously your Washingtonia robusta, some of the old leaves, I didn't actually cut any leaves off from the winter, so we can see we've got some brown tips on it, and you know the winter leaves have got a bit of spotting on. So this would have been the leaf that pushed out first after winter, so we can see a little bit of winter damage on that, but all the fronds since absolutely perfect. And that's opened up, I'm going to say 3 full fronds, well I suppose 4 after the damaged one, and it's opening a 5th, and we've got another spear behind that as well. So that's doing okay. So let's finish up on the queen palm. So this is the mountain form, so it is Roman Zephyriana, Santa Caterina. And again, it took winter pretty well. So this has been the newest leaf before winter, and we can see there are some brown spots on it. And we've actually got, I'm going to have to cut this grapevine back, it's starting to grow up the spear, which might inhibit that open up fully. But we can see this is the new spear which is opening up. This is the first full spear from winter, and we can see there is again some damage there from where it's probably at the crown level before it opened. I had this before last year. Doesn't really spoil the look too much, because most of it where it is damaged, that'll only be a couple of the fine leaflets, and the rest of the leaf will look pretty good. But the spear after that was obviously deep in the crown at that point, so that's looking pretty good. So again, I do sort of push my luck with some of these palms, and some of them may not be long term, but each winter they get a little bit hardier. But I'm fully aware that it only takes one bad winter to wipe some of these out. But again, we lose some, but on the same note, we do have little wins as well, and it's all about the little wins. I'm really enjoying coming down the garden and smelling these lilies at the moment. They're really quite pungent smell. Not a bad look to them either. Right, I think we'll leave it there. I might do a video later on in the week after we've had a few more rains about some of the bananas I'm growing, because they haven't been growing well. But hopefully with a week of constant rain, that might get them going a bit. And we'll look at all the different types of banana and what are the best ones for maybe a drier, cooler climate. Because we know most bananas will grow like stink in, you know, hot, wet conditions, but in the UK we are getting drier and drier summers. And with the threat of hosepipe bans and that sort of thing, there's, you know, there are going to be some species that take the dry better than others. Anyway, we'll leave it there. Let's just finish them up on the Jack's Giant, which is now opening a new leaf. Obviously not giant by any means at the moment, but you never know, by the end of the season we might get slightly bigger leaves. Right, thanks for watching, we'll catch you on the next one.